Sit down.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Absolutely. Scott. How you doing, Scott? Good. All right.
All needs to go into here. Or you want to, that's like the stock award. Either way, that's a good little tag of that.
32 ounce. Put it across from love. Hey, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, he's got it on his list of things to do. Yes.
I can't buy $20-$30 worth of stuff.
Good morning, everyone. I'm glad we're all talking. We got a lot more people in here than we normally do, so it's glad to see you all this morning. To get things kicked off, we have our local senator, Scott Hill, here today. We thought we'd do a little bit of a legislative update. So Scott, if you want to come on up and
You bet.
you want to kind of kick it off.
You want me to stand here at this podium thing?
Hey, this is your time.
What's that?
This is your time. Do
My time. Well, you know, it's kind of like church. I was the only one in the front row here. So, you know, it's great to walk in and get doused with rain, January 8th. You know, I need to work on my prayers, I think, because I had a prayer for rain July 8th, and I must have mispronounced. So, you know, it's great to be here this morning. And I got, Janelle gave me a list here, which I really appreciate. But first of all, the first thing I wanted to say was how much I appreciate the work you guys are doing. Because I think you've made a really serious attempt and success at keeping the mill rates and the property tax level down. And, you know, one of the things we'll be discussing this again this year in the legislature, but one of the things we discuss is capping appraisal values. And, you know, that's really popular with a lot of the taxpayers, but really it comes back to what our budgets are. And I want to talk a little bit about property tax because it's something you guys hear all the time. It's something I hear all the time. And as you know, the state's about out of the property tax business for the most part. But the state provides equalization of funding for education. And that's 20 mills statewide. And that's 20 mills that are there regardless of what the appraisal values are. So if you think about one of the issues that we are all running into with property tax is that education property tax collections have actually been above the rate of inflation because it's on appraisals only. It's a set mill rate. And so what we're essentially doing is shifting education funding from other sources to property tax. And if you think about that and you think about what seems to be an equitable, fair way to fund education, property tax probably wouldn't be the number one thing you'd think of. First of all of buildings and capital improvements are financed through property tax. Now, does everybody that comes and uses the gymnasium to watch a basketball game, do they pay property tax? Right. The likelihood is probably only about half of them do, and of any significant amount. And so I think I serve on a committee that's a really significant committee. It's the Special Committee on Education Finance. And we will have a proposal January of next year before the legislature. And one of the things I'm really hoping for is that we find a way to fund education that doesn't rely as heavily on property tax. And you know, it's really an interesting concept to see what does 1% sales tax statewide. If we have 1% education sales tax, what does that amount to? Is that enough money to to get rid of the 20 mills? It might be. You know, if we took out all the exemptions that we have for sales tax, and we get into the exemption business in Kansas pretty significantly. And when in statute, if you look at it, we started out with A for the first sales tax exemption. And we've gone through the alphabet once, we've gone through the alphabet twice, and I think we're through the alphabet 3 times in the number of sales tax exemptions that are out there. And, I appreciate that we just saw the Chiefs get a huge sales tax exemption, essentially, is what it is. It's a $2.6 billion sales tax exemption that they get to pocket instead of that money going to fund things in the state. Love the Chiefs, bleed red, would love to have them in Kansas. I think we have to look sometimes about what we do as a state to attract business. Business is attracted by low taxes. Kansas has the 3rd highest tax load in the United States. We have the 3rd highest number of public employees in the United States of any state. We attract business by being a business-friendly climate, not by giving handouts. And it seems like we have a hard time learning that in the legislature. We gave $1 billion to Panasonic to build a plant over in southeast Kansas. It's the Kansas City area, DeSoto. That deal looks like it's never going to come even anywhere close to doing what it was touted to do. My speculation is that the Chiefs will not generate the type of economic revenue that everybody is, I've run those figures. And my numbers are that every person that goes to a Chiefs game has to spend about $10,000. Do we think that's likely? I mean, we get these pie in the sky predictions, and people stand up and they say, this is going to be the greatest economic stimulus ever in Kansas. You know what I'm worried about? I'm worried about the 95 counties in Kansas that are seeing declining population, declining tax bases, declining revenue, because we haven't invested in agriculture. And this, Dickinson County is right there in this group. We are a net exporter of grain. So we raise grain, we put it in the elevator, and we send it to someplace else for somebody to make money on it. And, when are we going to get the realization that if we really want rural Kansas to flourish, we have to help agriculture. We have to do value added in agriculture. And then in addition to that, we need good businesses to come here. And we do that by lowering that tax rate. When you can go to Oklahoma and your cost of doing business is 50% less, or you can go to Missouri and your cost of business is doing 50% less, you can go to Nebraska, 50% less, even Colorado. The great socialist state of Colorado is more business friendly than Kansas is. And we've got to address that at the state level. We do. There's a lot of things on here. There's a lot of really important things on here. But attracting business to the state is absolutely essential if we want to see our state compete and grow. And it especially affects us here and west of here. Couple of things. Radio communications, I've talked a little bit. Chauncey and I talked a little bit about this, the challenges of the statewide network and the problems we've got there. Mm-hmm. I'm in talks with the Highway Patrol over in Salina too, and their dispatch center is out of Salina, and their ability to communicate good, it relies on radio antennas too. And so So that could even be part of that legislation to do some upgrades there. You know, and I think you guys want to hear from me the specifics of what's happening, but I think you also need to understand the philosophy of who I am. And one of the things that I look at is I say, you know, as our government was established in this country, there were essentially two things that government does. And one of them is protect, and the second one is provide. And, you know, when our country was founded, it was all about protection. We're going to protect our businesses from foreign competition. We're going to protect our borders from foreign invasion. We're going to protect our citizens from some being servants of foreign governments. And as we have evolved as a country, we talk most of the time about provision. You know, how are we going to provide something for somebody? And, you know, I think some of the early growth that we saw in our country was because we protected rights and we allowed human spirit to thrive. And so my philosophy is oftentimes in the direction of protection rather than provision. And I feel, you know, that was a long way of saying that having law enforcement and providing law enforcement for the protection of our citizens is one of the most important things we can do. And I'll be working on the highway patrol over in Salina to help them out. We need to keep the Highway Patrol headquartered in Salina, the training center headquartered in Salina. And it's important for us. It's important to have that. You know, we're a huge conduit for illegal drugs coming in on I-70 and of course I-35 going through Salina. And it's critical that we provide that type of protection for our citizens. Looking down through here, I see some costs, inmate medical costs. Where'd Gary go?
Yeah, he's there.
Gary. Yeah, there he is, hiding in the back. Inmate costs, food service costs, medical costs. I would guess on that list is also mental health costs. Things that we need to continue. We require things from the state. This is another one of those areas where we require things from the state, probably don't provide very good reimbursement for it. So be glad to talk with you a little bit more about that.
Matter of fact, Scott, we got a resolution today to accept a new contract for medical services in the jail.
Okay.
Pretty big, pretty decent increase. You know, just.
It's a little bit bigger.
If you're curious, we could, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to increase the amount of hours for service providing provision.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I don't remember the amount, 70?
Probably altogether when it comes down.
Is it, you know, our census of our inmates, is it going up? Is that what it is? Or is it more costly per inmate? Or both?
What touch on that, Jerry?
As far as the census of the inmates, we have more mentally ill people
Yeah.
in our jail. And what we're touching on a lot is chronic care. People that have chronic illnesses, whether it be an artificial leg or artificial limb or CPAP machines or medications. Our medications, we have, I think there was one inmate that had a $3,000 medicine bill for a month. That's absorbed by the county, so.
Wow.
We got an inmate on dialysis right now, is that right? Or we did,
We did have.
you know?
Yeah. And all those medical bills are absorbed by the county.
Yes.
Correct.
What if they have health insurance?
That's the first thing we do is if they have health insurance, then we submit that.
Okay.
But the majority of them do not have health.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't get the luxury like if you're an indigent and you have a medical bill and I mean, you go up to the hospital and you can't pay it, they're going to absorb that, but you don't have that option, do you? Yeah.
The only option we have is our contractor recodes the billing, so we get it billed at the Medicaid rate, which saves us a boatload of money.
Yeah.
It'll knock the bill from $6,000 down to $500.
Mm-hmm.
But who's eating that Medicaid cost? You know, that reduction, that's gotta be paid somewhere.
That brings up something, I saw it on this list is Medicaid expansion, and I can tell you that won't happen this year. I just, because I know that the House of Representatives will never allow a Medicaid expansion bill to even be voted on, let alone to go through. But I want, and we hear a lot about how critical that is. And in this case, you'd probably, most of your inmates would probably qualify if you had Medicaid expansion, so it'd be paying for that. So it seems kind of attractive. But, what's that been touted as is a salvation for rural hospitals. Mm-hmm. And that's just exactly the opposite of what it'll do to rural hospitals. And for the exact reason that Jerry just talked about here, they actually get reimbursed at so much lower rate that they actually don't make money on Medicaid patients. So what you've just done is increase the number of patients that are coming in on that low rate, and you're losing money on each one of those. And so you're better to have indigent care and coupled with insurance care makes you actually have a better bottom line at the hospital. So, we look at it and go, well, your numbers might increase. Yeah, they might increase. It's possible that more people come in for treatment if you had Medicaid expansion. But you lose money on every one of them. It's kind of like the guy that was hauling hay and selling it for less than he was buying it for, and he thought he needed a bigger truck. It doesn't work very good. So, but Medicaid expansion will not happen this session. I don't think there's legalizing marijuana on here. Mm-hmm. I don't anticipate any legislation on legalizing marijuana this session either. I will say that the newest senator in the Senate is from Wichita. His name's Silas Miller. And Silas's whole purpose of running for office, and he's now in the Senate, is to legalize marijuana. So I know that one of my Senate colleagues will push really hard for that, but I don't see it happening.
Does that change at all with the Trump executive order that just went down?
We haven't really seen what that's going to amount to. You have two conflicting things that happen on the federal level. One was lowering the classification of drug, or changing the classification of drug, of marijuana to a lesser category, which I don't know what that's going to do to us in the state.
That was kind of my whole question. What does that do to our regulations?
I haven't been briefed on it yet. I don't know what that amounts to. As far as our state, law enforcement wise,
it's illegal.
Our laws are exactly the same and haven't changed any of our laws. The other side, though, is in the reconciliation bill, cannabis was what I want to say. It took away the protection that it had. Okay, so when we're talking about hemp, and we've got how many vape shops here in Abilene, and there's no regulation on what's in vape. And the THC is not regulated. And so that bill had a provision in it that regulated it. So if you remember back here a month ago, the Attorney General did a raid on some vape shops, and that's what that was about, was to determine the hallucinogenic characteristics of the products they were selling. Because there's no regulation over here. You can have just as much THC in there as you would in a marijuana leaf, and there's no regulation on it. So is marijuana legal in Kansas?
That's not what we're asking. I think I'm just saying, does the executive order change anything?
Yeah, we don't know. I'll let you know. As far as I know at this point, nobody's told me anything about that.
Okay.
I do think, and this has been my stance for quite a while, is that we shouldn't be locking people up for possession of marijuana, and I think we have more important things to incarcerate people for than having a marijuana cigarette on them. And Jerry may disagree with me on this, but I think, you know, when I served on a interim committee where we talked about why are people in jail? And about 85% of the people that are in jail are there because of drug offenses. And that's not talking about the violent crimes associated with drug offenses. That's drug offenses. And, you know, we need to do a better job of, you know, and I appreciate Dickinson County has drug court. I think it has been a very effective thing for a relatively limited number of people. But we need to do a better job of getting that cycle of addiction broke and in a lot of those offenders. And I'm pretty sure I've been to Hutchinson, and I'm pretty sure being in Hutchinson doesn't break the cycle of drug use. I think drugs are just pretty readily available in our prison system. So, other questions? I've rattled on enough here.
We appreciate your time. Yeah, you guys, any questions?
You guys, yeah.
On the 800 radio system, accountability at the state level, somebody needs to be fiscally responsible for that and passing the buck that this department should do it. That someone needs to have that title, and I don't think that that person exists.
Well, I assume that those radio, I mean, is that Department of Transportation?
It's supposed to be the Department of Transportation Secretary is responsible for it, but no, they say that there's no one fiscally responsible to update the system. It's not my job to update it. The highway patrol colonel, it's not my job to update it. The KDOT superintendent, it's not my job to update it. KDEM, they have people that work with the radio, but it's not their job to build the system out.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to be in charge of that. That needs to be a job.
Well, I think that's something I need to keep in the back of my mind as we're working on this stuff is that, you know, and once you find anywheres is that if you can pass the buck, it's a whole lot easier to pass the buck than to take responsibility.
But fiscally, we just spent millions of dollars on a 1/4-cent sales tax in our county to build our 2 towers.
Yep.
We're already planning, thinking how much it's going to cost us 5-10 years down the road to do it and thinking about budgeting money. It's just criminal that the state never thought of that at their time, that we need to start putting money back for this $100 million system we own.
If you call that criminal, pretty much the entire state government's criminal. Because that's the way we do everything. We put out the fire, and it's part of our structure, okay? But when we come in as legislators, there's always the fire.
Right, and then
put out
they
the
leave
fire.
and someone new comes in there and it's not their problem.
Yeah, and we never, I mean, there's a few of us maybe that look at it 10 years down the road or 20 years down the road. I guess if we're financing the Chiefs, we look at it 30 years down the road.
Maybe the Chiefs will pay for our radio system.
Yeah, don't count on that one.
Use that tax money we gave.
30 years down the road, we're gonna start to get some tax money, but although,
Maybe they'll be back in the Super Bowl by then.
you know, if you look at this, the way that's being put in is another authority, like the Turnpike Authority and KU Med, which are the 2 authorities we have right now. Do you realize KU Med is state-owned? Nobody realizes that. But they were state-supported for a long time. And they lost money every year. And the legislature got tired of supporting them. And they finally said, here's 1 month of operating money. You're on your own. And they established this authority. Well, since then, they've gone gangbusters. I mean, they've taken over half the state medical-wise, but it's actually a state-owned authority, which means, as I understand it, that we don't collect property tax on it. And so we're going to have a $6 billion stadium or whatever it is there in Kansas City that no property tax will be collected on, as well as no sales tax. And I'm pretty sure the owners of the Chiefs don't pay income tax in Kansas City. So the amount of taxes collected.
So they could throw $100 million at our radio system pretty easy.
Oh, yeah, $100 million. You know, the lease for Chief Stadium is gonna be $7 million a year. That's exactly the same amount they pay for their assistant water boy. You know, I mean, I'm being cynical on that. But Patrick Mahomes gets 100 million or whatever a year, and they're paying 7 million to rent their stadium.
But my whole thing with Drew, someone needs to be accountable.
I appreciate
There
that.
needs to be,
I'm not
the
trying to
buck
change the
stops at one person that says, hey, you dropped the ball.
I really think it should be somebody in KDOT. I mean, that's me.
I think it should be the highway patrol.
Well, maybe it should. I don't know. I mean, and I can talk to them about that. I'm gonna be doing a lot of talking to the highway patrol. So, you know, and part of what we've got $40 million that's already appropriated for them to put in a new center in Salina for the dispatch center for the state is gonna be in Salina.
But we also have a department of communications that falls under there. It could be a standalone.
Underneath the highway patrol.
Underneath the highway patrol and underneath KDOT, they work together with both of them.
Okay.
But that could be a standalone department that's just responsible for the radio system. It's $100 million system.
Yeah.
You know, it shouldn't be a line item off the side with new curves.
I will make a note.
I appreciate that, Scott.
What initiative do you hear from leadership, I guess, in the Senate as far as a couple of things you're going to knock off or take care of this year or focus on?
Currently in the Senate, as of last count, we have four senators running for statewide office.
Mhm.
I'm being snarky.
Well, I know you. Go ahead, though.
So the number one thing we're gonna knock off is how to enhance the campaigns of four people. You know, do not quote me on that. I'm on radio, I'm on television.
I was gonna say, you're quoted.
But I don't expect anything really significant in the Senate. Senator Tyson is pushing really hard for a appraisal cap, I believe it is.
Right.
And, you know, I expect that that's going to come out because there's going to be some proposal on property tax. I'm pretty sure. You know, the challenge with that is we can cap one, we can cap the other. But if you cap both, how do governments grow? I mean, you know,
Right.
I think it's really hard to cap. I think the solution is for the state to be out of the property tax business. And I think that the solution is to let you guys deal with property tax. I mean, you don't want to hear that many, but
That's supposed to be the three-legged stool.
Right.
The state sits on. The county is funded by sales and property tax. You're
Yeah.
funded through income.
Yep.
We're crossing that we're getting to a one-legged stool pretty quick.
Yeah.
We go down, that's my concern with SR, I think it's 16 or something.
Yeah, the continuing resolution 16, I think is what it is. So, but I guess the other concern is, I mean, hopefully, not that I want a cap, because I think that's not the state's business, but if they try to do property reappraisal, that is not something that I think is feasible. I don't think it is financially responsible, and I don't think it's the right way to proceed with that.
You can argue, are we not touching home rule at some point here?
Right.
Yeah.
What are right, I mean,
Well, you don't.
We
have
gotta run a
everybody
county
vote for
government.
The cities here, right?
We have statutory home rule, they have
Statutory.
constitutional home rule
Okay.
in the cities.
ours are a little more subject to your
We have,
mandate, but
there's
it's still
30,
at some point, when do we get to act on our home rule?
right,
Yeah.
right.
Well, it's a really good question.
And I'm really pointing on not to bring this up, but at the commissioners, I mean, read what our enumerated powers are. I mean, it's very,
Mhm.
it's about tax.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I hate to say that because I mean, but you know, it's one of the surprises for legislators when they get down to big
Right.
is how little authority you have. I mean, the first meeting I remember going to when I was a new House member was a budget overview. And they said, well, here's 2/3 of the budget. That's off limits. Then they went into social services, which is about half of what's left. and that's off limits. So you end up with about 15% of the state budget that you have any discretionary authority over. And, you know, that's where it gets really hard. And, you know, I really appreciate you guys making the tough decisions you did on budget, because we had to do the same thing last year. And the ability to get the state budget to a negative increase was phenomenal. I mean,
Start.
it's a good start, but I mean, we are agency heavy at the state level. And, you know, in each one of those agencies, you know, if I go to the Department of Ag has a lot of employees. I go to the Department of Ag and say, you know, we need to reduce the size of the department. Well, every one of those is essential services. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, each one of those agencies feel that they are absolutely essential. Education, that's primarily what I work with, is education. You know, if I go to the Department of Education and say, you know, your $600 million budget that you have at the state level, or whatever it is, that's probably somewhere close.
Yeah.
200 or 300 million, probably actually accurate. But anyway, if I go to them and say, that's too big, we need to decrease that, well, they go, who's going to teach the kids? Well, I mean, probably the teachers out in Abilene School District are going to teach the kids. You know, I mean,
I think what the counties are saying is that property taxes are a result of the mandated services handed to us by the state. And more particularly, unfunded mandated services that have been given in the last, I mean, I can come up with 3 or 4 programs in the last 40 years. That the way I read it, when it was originally come out from the state, supposed to be funded, never got funded. And then, well, why is property tax so high? Well, it's a pretty simple equation why it's too high. And so my point is limiting our ability to render that tax isn't going to change the problem. We have a spending issue at the state. I know you know that.
we do.
That's the problem. And my deal is, why don't y'all look at your book before you make us look at ours?
Yeah,
And in an effort, we've done that anyway, but
I really appreciate
I'm not saying this to you, Scott.
Yeah, I appreciate it. though,
Well, the
but I mean,
R&R,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
you're exempt from it.
It's a good example. You make us do the R&R, you guys don't have to do it.
Right.
But you also make us do the R&R and there's no reimbursement this year. And that's $10,000 for our county. to send
R&R,
us out.
Revenue neutral rate.
The
Oh,
statements.
The mailings that happen.
Well, actually, we are revenue neutral at
No,
the state.
The statements that we're required by law to send out to notify.
Sure, right,
It's
yeah.
just a mandate. We're touching.
Yeah, I understand. And it's very unpopular.
Costs us
It's
10 grand in this.
I know. And we have tried to fund that. I don't remember whether we got
Are
it
they gonna
funded.
bring it up again? Because this year they're not. so
Right.
far.
They're not, this year they're not. And I think we should, because I mean, we're requiring that.
Yeah.
And I've voted for that and supported that every time it comes up, and I will continue
There's
to.
another thing,
Good.
that property tax they're gonna have to
Thank you.
pay for.
But I do think it's important to realize that the legislature is revenue neutral as well. I mean, particularly on property tax, because we don't have any. I mean, the legislature does not appropriate any property tax for our use.
Yeah.
I mean, the schools do. There's a statewide school mill levy, but the state does not collect property tax.
Yeah.
So we're certainly revenue neutral on
There's
that.
certain things, Scott, and I'd love to sit down with you. I think some things could be modernized to sit cost.
Oh, my
You know, a
God.
good example is tag stickers. We're reading the tag anyway, guys. We're not, it's sticker. We're
Right.
reading the tag. I don't see the point.
Mhm.
But,
I
you know, I can just kind of go through a list of stuff that I've noticed as a new commissioner going, well, we're reading the tag anyway. Why have what's the point of the sticker? We're going to know whether it's a
I
good
know.
tag or not. It doesn't
Well,
really
and-
matter. They can
You
fake the
don't see
sticker
that on a
anyway.
lot of other
So.
states.
We don't expect common sense to be all that.
I'll figure that out.
I mean, last year there was this bill that went through about automating the insurance. Okay,
Right.
so whenever somebody pulls you over now, Jerry pulls us over. I don't think Jerry's on the road much pulling people.
But just to get to work.
Yeah, just get work. But if Jerry pulls me over, he knows immediately whether I have insurance or not on my vehicle. But we still allowed highway patrol and everybody else to write a ticket for not having proof of insurance in the vehicle. Well, I mean, I guess that makes us feel kind of good. We spank somebody because they didn't have an insurance sticker in there. But then that person's gonna have to take off work, go to court and prove that they have insurance, which we knew they had all along.
Right.
I mean, does that make any sense? Why didn't we just throw that out? And I don't know, Leah, when we retag vehicles every year, what do?
Right.
Insurance.
We
Yeah,
already know that, right?
right. That's, yeah.
So I mean, what's the point of retagging the vehicle every year? I mean, collecting the fees, that's an important thing. But we could do that over a
You can
multi.
digitize that.
Yeah, I mean, and we tie up you guys' time.
Mhm.
We don't inspect the vehicles. I mean, insurance is the only thing we do.
I think there's a level of frustration that we are trying to continue our partnership with the states, the counties are,
Yeah.
and they don't want to listen to us. And we have good ideas on things, but they kind of get poo-pooed. And that's very frustrating at times, and it probably depends on who we're talking to, honestly, Scott. We know that you're on our side,
Well,
you know,
I
but
appreciate that. I
Yeah.
try not to do things that are burdensome and cumbersome, you know, I mean, my goal to be up there is to make it easier for everybody. You know,
Right.
when I talk about business, same thing there. I want to make it easier. I mean, we've had bills that to try to reduce some of the burden on business.
right,
They can't make it
they
through.
can't make
Because
it,
there's always somebody that goes, well, what about?
right.
You know,
Mhm.
we had one last year that was about starting up a business in your garage or your house. You know, this is somebody that wants to mechanic in their garage.
Mhm.
You know, well, everybody's doing it already. Why don't we allow, I mean, you know, boy, you should have heard the firestorm that we had.
Mhm.
I don't want to live on a street where there's junk cars sitting around everywhere. I guess you live in Dickinson County.
What are you talking about?
But,
My neighbor.
yeah, I mean, I am, and I would appreciate things that you really find cumbersome.
Mhm.
You know, let me know. Get me a list so that I can be on the lookout for that one. I mean,
Mhm.
I am not generally in a lot of the committees that you guys
Mhm.
would have stuff go through, although this year that changed a little bit because I'm on judiciary.
Okay.
And I'm on businesses or financial institutions and insurance. So those are a couple of different committees that,
Education.
what's that?
Are you on education?
I'm on education.
I thought you-
Yeah, I mean, education,
That's your.
this is what I
That's your
do is
thing, yeah.
education.
Yeah.
And,
Good.
you know, that'll be my life work up there, which, I mean, I hope I outlive the very short time I want to spend it to be there. But anyway, no, knowing about those really are helpful for me. And I will say that, and I don't know what's going to happen on this, but, so we have some legislators that are county commissioners or were county commissioners. Don Wolf is one I know well. And they started up a caucus.
Right.
And I think that's going to be a helpful caucus.
Mhm.
Because I think sometimes, I mean, I think sometimes there is an animosity going on between the two, especially over in our urban areas.
Mhm.
I think, you know, there's a battle between legislators and county commissioners.
County commissioners, right.
I don't feel that way here.
No, I
I
was
feel,
gonna say that. I think we're working, I think we're working well as a team and I just heard
I've loved my county commissioners. I mean, and I don't know if you guys have felt that way. But I mean, I feel so fortunate to have the county commissioners I do. And it's,
behind you too. So,
what's that?
because we got a great team right
You
behind
do.
you.
You do have a great team. And yes, the whole
When you
board.
spoke earlier about the budget, when we were able to kind of hold the line on that and actually reduce it, and
Yeah.
the people behind you,
Had to make the hard choices.
they stepped forward in their departments and had
And
a
we,
lot to do with it.
and we know that's not sustainable forever. I mean, obviously, I
Oh,
mean,
we haven't told them that.
well. There I go again, blotting off the mouth. So, but yeah, I just felt a tremendous partnership and in the same way the Saline County commissioners are great. I mean, I have a good relationship with them and my Marion County commissioners, I had a good relationship with. And so I don't feel that at all here. And I hope that all of you feel like you can pick up the phone and holler at me if there's something that pops up. Because honestly, you know, there's a lot of stuff comes at us. You know, I've been, somebody over in Saline County's been critical of me that I didn't support the industrial park out here. And I'm like, I can't ever remember seeing an industrial park. And I've been going back through bills. I think it's Department of Commerce grant is what it is, but I'm just like, no, I supported it. But
Came out of an appropriations committee, didn't it?
well, I can't find it in there. I can't find any line item on it. So I'm, you know, but the bottom line on that, if it was a line item in the budget, so that's 500 pages we get. And we're voting on it. Yeah, and it comes like what happens at the end of session is that there's conference committees that get together.
Right.
And that's when stuff gets put in.
Get done, yeah.
And you don't know about it. And so the next morning, you know, 11 o'clock at night, you're doing a conference committee, and 11 o'clock the next morning, you're voting. And I've never seen it.
That's just not the way to do things.
It is not
but-
the way to do business, and it happens that way every year.
Exactly.
And honestly, I'll tell you, the Chiefs Stadium deal wasn't a whole lot different.
Is that the last month where they'll put all the bills together?
Yeah.
Pretty much earmark them all into one bill?
So, yeah, what happens with, it's called omnibus.
That's the word.
Yeah. And I,
Put it all in one.
I assume that's when it went through.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'll tell you, I've made it a policy, I will not vote for an omnibus that's above the rate of inflation. And so for 2 years, I voted no on omnibus. Last year, I voted yes on omnibus because it was under the rate of inflation. And I, you know, it's going to pass anyway. But I just think that as a principle, we as a state government need to stay below the rate of inflation because we've been above the rate of inflation for 30 years. You know, we've doubled our state budget and we've got to stop at some point in time. So anyway.
We're going to be up in the Capitol for local government day and county government day. I think it'd be nice, maybe we'd come visit your office.
Absolutely.
And, go over maybe some more stuff.
What time of day are you going to be there?
The 28th will be around the afternoon, right?
Noon, yes.
Now, and then
What day of the week
the
is that?
That's a Wednesday. The 20th is a
And you'll
Wednesday.
be there afternoon.
Afternoon.
I can set up an appointment, I'm sure, in the afternoon, especially this early in session.
My thought is just we can walk through, you know, something that we know about, like here's
Yep.
where we're at, and
Come
get a
up
little more detailed maybe.
Yeah,
You can come up in the morning if that would be better
We
too.
could do that
That's not a
too.
problem.
Mornings are not good.
Okay.
Senate.
Okay,
We started
Started.
at 8:30 and we go till noon.
okay.
We can work together, but I'd love to visit with you and
Yeah.
if Wynn or Ron wants to come, but just kind of give you, hey, here's how we would look at this,
Yep.
this thing.
And, you know, and for sure, I'm going to keep this radio deal in mind.
Mhm.
And because I do have meetings set up with the head of the highway patrol. And so that's, you know, that gives me an opportunity to find
Should be
out.
confident that, and I'm gonna talk you guys up. We're not gonna actually be affected by this. This is a state
Right, I understand.
issue, and but I want to touch on Chancey and our ability to build our. I mean, we're saying something there that, but for the other counties, it's going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
Big
And
problem.
I think you have, I mean, there's some issue there too about, okay, you guys are spending millions of dollars to put up good communication towers. Do you allow the state to use those for nothing?
We have to because we
Yes.
have to use their core.
Mm.
Right,
They
right.
get it for free.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
That's-
And our surrounding counties also get to use it for free because we're one.
Mhm.
But Jerry or any of his deputies getting a chase, they can talk all the way across the state through the system. If we go back to just using our towers and taking care of our county, we're in a silo.
Well, and EMS is the same way, and they've been doing it for what, 15
Everybody.
years probably, John?
Police, fire, EMS, and all the mutual aid we do with fire response and all that is shot.
well, we
So it's-
have to, I mean, and the highway patrol has to have that too. Because, I mean, that call center over there in Salina, I mean, everything goes through.
The problem is the highway patrol has to have
I
it.
agree with you.
We can go.
Yeah.
But we silo ourselves. our traditional responsibilities to our community and our county first, not the whole state.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't have to pay for the whole state's neglect to assist.
When you're meeting with KHP or KDOT and have questions, please feel free to reach out and we'll,
And I'll talk with these more. But, yeah, and I don't know, we're gonna have a meeting early on here because we have to map some strategy
right.
on things they want to do in Salina.
Mhm.
That's, but I mean,
Dickinson County is a good place for that too. I'm just gonna say.
yeah. Hey, we, I'm excited about Dickinson County
Mhm.
and I think we're gonna get some business here. I really believe it.
I hope
mean,
Too.
But it's just, the right thing at the right time.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I'm not gonna say more than that, but,
Okay.
we need to keep working on it.
Absolutely.
And this lady back here is very much in tune with that too, so I appreciate that.
Thank you for coming in. We gotta get to the department heads. We need to hear their updates. Thank
And
you,
you're
thank
welcome
you,
to
thank
stay
you.
for that.
Yeah.
They're gonna give a,
Go ahead.
I've got a little bit of a break in my
Busy guy.
schedule here for a few minutes, and I need to look at the radar and see how the rain is outside. I really don't want my hair to get messy.
Oh, man.
I don't wanna do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate your time. Okay. So now I'm gonna let you do this. Who do you wanna have?
You just want to start down the road? Lisa, you want to start?
Lisa Bird, County Appraiser. I'm going to make this quick. I do want to visit with Scott in regards to personal property and the heavy trucks. I think it's very important that he understands what's going on as he's been contacted by taxpayers. And he's also been in contact with some other county appraisers. So just kind of going over what you guys are already aware of, but he may not know how that works. New in the appraiser's office, we are obviously, we've been working on our payment under protest. It's that time of year. We had 43 payment under protest for real estate, which is, we have 14,424 parcels. So that's a very minimal amount. Personal property, we have had 22 payment under protests, which is more than we've had in the past years. But we also have 2,218 individual renditions. So when you look at that, that's still a very small amount. Oil and gas, I have my first payment under protest with them. I have 16 leases and I have one payment under protest. It is a failure to file on a new owner. He just didn't understand the filing rules, and so that's not going to be a big issue either. I'm still waiting on ag values. Those are usually, when we started out, they were out in the mid-Novembers. Then they moved us to December 1st. And for some reason, they moved to mid-December. Then January 1, now we're almost to mid-January, and we still do not have ag values. And that does really put us behind schedule.
That's something to put on your radar, Scott.
Yeah, ag values are really,
Yeah.
I mean, when we have to have value notices out by March 1st, and we have to have our information so we can start our CBN checklist, and it takes about a week to do that checklist. It really rushes that process. So ag values are kind of important to have, and we still don't. Besides that, we are just busy working on our 2026 value. That's all I have for right now. Do you guys have any questions?
I don't believe so.
thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank you,
you.
Lisa. Morning.
Hello, Leah Hearn, County Treasurer. Our tax season went really well, I thought. Had some glitches and a few things, but the mailing of our tax statements will not happen again. I have a solution for that. And had some other few glitches, but we're meeting together as different offices and working those out so that we can get those taken care of. Our heavy trucks and trailers and our commercial vehicles, it's renewal time. They have until the end of February. And also anyone with letter A, they renew by the end of February. I'm going to be working on sending out the delinquent letters for anyone that didn't pay any of their personal property or real estate. And we'll work through those of the customers that receive those. And other than that, I did want to let Scott know. You got leave already?
I was
Okay.
talking to Lisa.
Okay, I'll talk to him, but I'm sure the Treasurers Association will work another bill this year because of the motor vehicle fees that we've done for the last few years and have got nowhere. So we're going to attempt that again this year and see where we can go.
Okay.
Any questions?
What's the proposed to raise it to?
They're trying to find a different avenue to go to present because it seems like the 6 or 7 different ways we've tried to approach hasn't worked. So we're going to go a different way. And we have a state meeting in February.
Okay.
First part is February. So we'll have our banquet for that the treasurers individually puts on for all the legislators
Okay.
to come and visit so that we can see them. Okay,
Thank you, Leah.
thank you.
Chancey Smith, Dickinson County Emergency Management. Just finished up our CERT class up at the Abilene High School. The kids all passed their test. They wanted to do a little extra after they were done, so we did a stop the bleed up there. So we had all the kids now trained and certified in buying tourniquets, pack dressings and all that. Really rewarding teaching that class. The kids took it so serious. You know, the videos are graphic. You have to watch in that movie. It's, you know, a arm that's amputated and leaking blood severely. And they took 100% seriously because they thought, we live in a rural community. My dad farms, you know, people get caught in augers, people get hurt in hunting accidents. And they took this so serious, it was really rewarding. And I was able to go over to Salina and get with Deputy Hughes with the Salina Police Department or the Salina Sheriff's Department. And through Homeland Security, we give him stop the bleed kits to pass out to people after this class. And all of those kids are able to take one of those home with them, keep them in their car, keep them with them. And we gave them some extra ones to keep in the school because now we have, you know, a big group of kids there who are trained to do this. So if some bad incident should happen out there before EMS can get there, those critical seconds, they know how to take care of and control that bleed. So it was really neat to teach that class. Also want to thank you guys for letting me be able to go to the KAC conference this year. I kind of stirred the Secretary of Transportation up a little bit, but I think it was an eye opener for a lot of the counties that sat in that group with us, knowing that this could come back on us to pay for. So it is important, and it's nice to have people like Scott that will come and listen to us and bring it back that he's like, hey, this isn't our problem. We didn't create this problem. We tried to help you when we built it with Homeland Security funds and gave you the state gets a federal grant. They pass a little bit through to us. We give it right back to them to build this system, and they still neglect to take care of it. It's just, it sets with me so wrong. But I think we're on the right track. The people are talking about it now. It's just not going to get shoved through on us and like, oh, surprise, here's a new bill for you. So hopefully we can do something with that. Any questions? Thank you guys.
Thank you, Chase. Morning.
Registered deeds, we closed the year out with 1,020 deeds that were recorded, 717 mortgages, 52 rejections, 1 plat, 95 UCCs, and 1,094 miscellaneous documents, with a total of $158,000 in recording fees that we took in. About the same as last year. We're up a little bit from last year, about 3% difference from last year. So we're up there. Our e-record, of course, is about 23% higher than it was last year at this time. So that's where, like I said before, that's where everything's going is e-record, e-record. I mean, we've already had a couple of great big days this year with e-record. Ladies are still working on indexing old documents. So that's just a process every day after their daily work. They just go in and index the old stuff, helping people do that kind of stuff. That's about where we're at. We did 539 documents in e-record this year. So compared to last year, where it was 389. So it's just continuing to double. I don't think it's going to continue that way.
I asked, I think we asked maybe a month or maybe even 2 months ago, how many of those deeds are new construction properties, new homes?
I have no idea.
Can we somehow figure that information
I
out?
think that Lisa will have some of that information
Okay.
on her report.
Yes, Lisa would be the one that can tell you that.
And really what I'm asking there, what kind of economic, have we had growth? Not necessarily just moving property around, buying or selling, but have we had any growth?
Right.
Well, and Tim will have with his building permits
Okay.
too, a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, just because somebody's building a new house doesn't mean they're
I'm not
moving.
due tomorrow, but I'd love to compile that into some sort of report and give that to the public and go, here's where we're at, here's what's going on.
Yeah,
Have the
unfortunately
census.
with deed work and mortgages, I don't know that it's a new build unless I can actually go out and look at the map and say, okay, well, there's nothing there currently, so they obviously are going to build something.
Okay.
But yeah, on the deed work, we don't have that
Doesn't work that way.
information.
Sounds like Lisa will. Okay.
Yep,
And I think
Lisa and Tim.
the senator mentioned earlier that there are only 5 counties that were showing growth in population and also on the revenue side. And I think in Dickinson County, from what I hear from other counties, we do much better, but it's good to have a measurement. We know where we are at on that.
100%.
Right.
And that new construction is a lot of it, population is a lot of it, and our sales tax revenues continue to trend upwards.
Mhm.
But that still is
Mhm.
a very stark warning that he gave, because that's certainly going to impact us.
I think it's important for us to know if we're growing or not.
Right.
And I hope some of the policies that we've passed last year, the whole effort is to grow. So if we're not
Right.
measuring growth, we're not measuring the success of the policies we're trying to put forth. So to me, we need to do that.
I agree. Anything else? Okay. I'll leave it.
Thank you.
Martin?
Appraiser, that's what I need to ask.
Yeah,
the question.
yeah.
Quit asking the register of deeds, okay.
But she knows the answer.
That's right.
Warren Tannehill, Director of Public Works.
It came.
No update at the end of the year from the road department. I'll wait another month to get all the numbers straight on it. Out at environmental services, the year was about standard. We sold $120,000 worth of chemicals this year. We had 61 well inspections and water tests, and that was compared to 47 last year. So I don't know how many are new wells, but there was that much action of buying and selling. We have about 18 more than we had the year before. Recyclables, we are 5,000 gallons of used oil we shipped out. We had 16,600 pounds of e-waste, and we sold $70,000 worth of used metal last year. So salvage metal. Other than that, that's pretty normal out there for the year. Road and Bridge Department, so far Reese has completed 2 of the 3 bridges. He should be signing the invoice today for the second one, should be coming through. And they are well started on the 3rd one. Ron has told them it's going to be a little while on this one. There's a lot of flat on 500 Avenue being closed, but yeah, so. Fire chiefs and everybody are a little unhappy. People telling me they got to go 16 miles around. But I don't think it's quite that far. Yeah. So if you hear some slack down there, they are in a hurry to get it done, and they will make it as fast as we can.
So you were doing snow removal last year about this time.
We sure were, but yeah,
So what's your schedule look like next week?
yeah, so we are looking real good. Salt came in. We'll spend less money on salt unless we have a
So far.
terrible January, February. But yeah, so.
So you have the road graders out anyway, probably.
Yes, now this rain helps us out. We'll be blading all the roads again first, maybe even by Friday afternoon, not tomorrow afternoon, but they'll be out and about. We've been getting a lot of calls, but when that road's so dry, so packed, you don't really do a lot of good stirring the dust. So, but we'll hit all the blades will be running this next week and getting the roads laid out. So they should be happy about that. So short and sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, don't forget that stop sign. I let Janelle know that.
He went and looked.
It was not out?
No.
No,
What?
so I drove the whole Jeep Road corridor and made sure all of them were working in there. There was none.
Worked
down,
fine.
And they were all up
Okay.
and they were all working.
Well, my bad.
Yeah.
That's what they told me. They swore up and
No,
down. It was
no,
out.
no.
I almost got in a wreck. We really like those light up stop signs. Make sure they're working.
That was another question I asked the
Gee,
Secretary of
yeah. I
Transportation.
asked that too.
If we could put those at the intersections of state roads.
Yeah.
And he said he was gonna check and see if that would be approved, because they always denied us.
They denied it.
If we go up, if our county road butts up to a state road, we wanna put one there because we have proof that we have a lot of accidents
Yes.
there. And he's like, well, let me check on that and I'll get back with you.
Yeah, actually more hitting the state roads than up on our own roads.
Right.
But
The
it's also,
constituent liked it. So
Yeah,
if
the
that's any.
constituents have
The
been.
one right out here.
Favor.
Mm-hmm.
When you get past Sturgis and Geske,
Right.
there's been
Right.
requests to have one there and there's been numerous wrecks.
Whether we,
43 and 1400 Avenue also is another.
but whether it worked or not, we haven't had no T-bone crashes there since we put them up.
Yeah.
About all the proof you need, isn't
We
it?
had a couple bad ones out there in the past, so. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We're good.
Amber Piper, 911 director. So I accomplished my first half year here, so I'm pretty honored to be with the county, excited to what I've been able to bring and proud of what we did accomplish in that half year. We do still have a lot of areas of growth downstairs in the 911 center, but I can't wait to see where we go this year and what we can accomplish. One of those that I hope to accomplish is in quality. So I was able to present that to Lynn and Ron last meeting. It came across as quite chaotic and a tad messy. So I'm looking forward to being able to represent it to all three of you at my one-on-one session with you at the beginning of February. Some of the issues I was tasked with when coming in was focusing on staffing. So I can report, even though we did hit crisis mode in there and had to make some probably inadequate changes to make it through, we currently have 4 full-time out of training, 2 full-time in training that are doing really good for us. They're about halfway there. Hope to be out on their own March 1st. One of our PRNs or the fill-ins, she's working on coming back full-time. And then that would leave us at March 1st when our next 2 are out of training to hire our last 1 or 2. So compared to where we were, that is amazing. And then the other task that we worked on since I've been here is just rebuilding those working relationships with all of our responders, especially fixing some damage control with the rural fire departments. And I hope they would report that we're in good standings of the people that we work with. And then the only other thing I have to leave you with, unless you have some questions, are just some final numbers for the year. So EMS for Dickinson County ended the year with 2,987 calls. So for police department, for the law total was 16,898 calls. Abilene Fire, 1,235. And the other 12 that make up the full fire departments, is 1,297.
16,000 calls for the sheriff.
No, I'm sorry, the 4 law enforcements together.
Okay, I was like,
Sheriff's-
oh, Max, you guys
Sheriff's
are running.
Department was 6,429. They are the biggest driving factor of law enforcement, but they also have probably the biggest.
Still a lot of calls.
Any questions for you guys?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great to have you on, by the way, Amber.
I would echo that.
Marcia Schneider, Human Resources Director. You guys get to see me next week, so I'm going to keep it very brief today because I don't want to bore you 2 weeks in a row. So the open positions that we have, technically we have 8, but 3 in the jail are in the final stages of the new hire process. So we anticipate them starting in the next couple of weeks. So that leaves us really with 5 open positions, 3 in dispatch, 1 in EMS, 1 at Road and Bridge at the end of the month as the equipment operator. And we are working to get the W-2s out to everybody by the next week or so. And then I'll have more information next week for you, unless you have any questions right now for me.
Are the Broncos still in it, or?
And I'm so irritated that we have to watch the terrible Chiefs on television and not the winning Broncos right now, so.
There'll be an opportunity to watch them.
Yes. There, yes.
Thank you.
Right now.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Well, I think you do.
Yeah. Do you want to have him go last and,
Up to you, Jared. Do you want to go last and do it all in one?
Do it all at once. That
Yeah.
makes more better sense.
Yeah.
It always makes better sense to say the best. So I-
there you go.
We can say it that
Yeah.
way.
Go ahead. He's going to go last because he's got another
You
match.
already finished, John. He was quick, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
He's resetting the pace.
John Holmgren, EMS and Health. Talk all about health department as we finish out the year. I can tell you the vaccinations were down a little bit as far as flu went. Reason behind that is probably a couple of different things. People proud about it. People, the weather was relatively nice. It was relatively warm, and they don't think about going and getting a flu shot. But we still offer those. Vaccination schedule, all probably seen the president has updated the vaccination schedule. They kind of broken some vaccines up. We've seen a decline in children's immunizations since COVID with vaccination hesitancy, scared of vaccines. There's a lot of bad information going around because of that. So they've changed some things. They've broken up some of the child vaccination schedule as far as when they think some of this vaccination should be given. And so we'll see. That just recently happened. So we'll see when that officially gets down to us what that looks like. If that helps with people becoming getting vaccinations on and getting vaccinations on their children like they should on a schedule. So we're dealing with that. And yesterday, as you see it on the news this morning, how they came out with that. They flipped the food pyramid upside down. So how that's going to affect as far as education, what foods you should eat, and what's the basis for good health. So we'll see what comes down with that.
Is that why we had cupcakes yesterday?
That was right before that changed. I think how you got flipped the other way. Probably gonna have to have a or something. Yeah. As far as EMS goes, we did yesterday. I don't want to say celebrate, but we did celebrate Barbara Nozo for her 8 years of service she provided for us as the EMS value person. She done an excellent job. A huge loss, but I think that Michelle that's going to fill that position or is filling that position had the opportunity to come in and work with Barb for almost 2 months and making that a good transition. And it's great. I think she's going to be a great employee. She's had previous building experience, not in EMS, but she's a quick learner, and I think that we're going to be able to move that along without a step. And she just had to learn how to be grouchy with the insurance companies, and I think she probably handled that and continue that on. Last year, and I'll have that full, nice, glossy looking report later for you guys on last year's year end. But last year we were up about 8% on EMS calls last year from what we had the year before. Personnel wise, we're full with our full-time people, which is good. And we are going to be I'll be working with Amber on updating her emergency medical dispatch cards. We're going to be working on that soon, so we can get those updated. So that's what I have as far as EMS. MIH, Mobile Integrated Healthcare, happy to announce we are currently seeing 7 patients in that program. And we've had 7 since before the holidays. And we've got a couple that are probably ready to graduate from the program. And some we're still working with. But I could honestly say that what we're seeing so far is making a difference with those people. And it's, I can tell you for an instance of one patient that they're seeing, a person that they're seeing, not a patient, a person they're seeing, we probably saved, I don't say probably, I know we saved an ambulance trip and hospital admission for a patient. So the cost and whatever you want to put on that, or the cost of whether they're self-pay or whether they're insurance, they save money, the insurance companies save money. Reduced an ambulance call when our person went out for their weekly visit to that patient. They were in pretty bad shape. Our community paramedic got a hold of their provider at the hospital and talked to them about it, got a script. We went to the pharmacy, back to the patient, got the patient turned around while they were still there and saved the hospitalization. And I'm pretty sure they did a trip for that person. So right there is an example of what we're being able to do, we'll be able to do for these patients. So I think it's going well. They're keeping busy. They're learning a lot. We're learning a lot. And switching from just a pick up emergencies at home to the hospital, as far as being able to care for people in their home, keep them well, people. So I think it's going really well. So pleased with it so far. I'm still. Okay. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, John. Well, Dustin.
Dustin Parks, I'm the Director of IT and GIS. So we have, I'm gonna say completed the migration of emails, but we basically completed the first step. We ran into some issues over the Christmas break. We have 2 active tenants at the moment. Long story short, we've been trying to work with folks to make sure that their .gov emails are operational and that everyone's getting switched over appropriately. Microsoft was attempting to be helpful and cause more problems than not. So we're trying to deal with that. The servers, right now, they're still in the boxes and server. It's probably a good thing we got them when we did, because the cost of hard drives have almost doubled. The cost of RAM has gone up by, on some estimates, close to 800%. The computers that we have, the little computers we have on a lot of our employees' desks, have gone from about $600 and $800 depending to between $900 and $1,200 just because of the increasing cost of RAM. So we have a few already downstairs that we didn't have to purchase on the increase. We got them last year during like Black Friday sales and stuff like that. So we're pretty okay in terms of like replacement inventory and our schedule for getting stuff out. I'm looking at getting some more here soon just so that we can get ahead of the curve, so that we don't have to worry about even more increased costs. But that aside, we're still waiting on the numbers for the server, for the full server migration, since we had to change direction on the host service. Beyond that, I'm just plugging along, trying to finish the email migration so we can get started deploying the other stuff we need to this year. We're getting the final numbers for cybersecurity grant that we're working with clerks with, election security. We're going to look to try to replace our core switch, since our core switch will be coming out of date as of March of this year. But what that means is it's not getting security updates and stuff like that anymore. It's a little important to make sure that the core switch is live and has security updates. And with our firewall replacement last year, it actually makes it a lot easier because we can just get a core switch that ties directly in. We don't have to worry about in terms of equipment that's not communicating well and doesn't have, some has updates and some doesn't. We can get the same brand. We actually found out it's going to be cheaper. We found out that because of the firewall we have, we don't have to get, previously we had talked about one that was about $45,000. We found out because of our firewall, we can actually get one that's about $12,000.
Oh, nice.
So we're going to look at trying to do a redundant setup so that we can update one, keep the other one live, so that we don't have to bring down the internet and users while we update for when the security updates come out. So, and that's still, even if it's about 2, it's still half of what we thought we'd have to pay. So that firewall upgrade was a pain, but it is becoming more evident that it's saving us in the long run. So other than that, that's really all I have. It's not very hard with the tiers, continuation of classes. So you guys got any questions for me?
I asked Janelle and to ask Dustin to maybe update our recording software, hardware, So I just thought I'd let the commission know. I think I would love to replace this stuff.
So I
Yeah,
actually
working
reached out, the individual that did our the rewiring of the road and bridge department, that's, I can't remember the exact name of what they're, I want to say it's, they're here in town on Third Street, but
Yeah.
Isaac is his name.
Yeah.
And I actually asked him yesterday afternoon for a quote on just what it would take. Because what we have is good for conferences. It's a conference room setup that was hodgepodge together to make a recording for commission meetings. So there is better equipment out there for it. It's just a question of what it's going to run. So I figured I'd start with just getting a quote and seeing what it takes to upgrade, or if he can provide any, like maybe additional equipment that would make what we have better.
Because we need to look here and in the basement. maybe.
Yeah, no, exactly. I just,
Yeah.
it goes down. I
Yeah.
think it's worth putting a little money into. It's important for the public to see these and hear these meetings.
And I'm hoping for a system that I'm going to say is independent of the computer, but ties into it for just recording, because right now, the system we have requires a computer to operate.
Gotcha.
Because it's a conference system. It's expecting you to be online, like on a Zoom call. Whereas actual recording equipment, we might be able to record, even if it's not streaming.
Okay.
Even if we don't have internet, we still might be able to set that to record. So,
We'll look forward to that.
yeah, but I'm waiting to hear back from him on if he has time to come and give us a quote, just so we have a basis to start. Okay. Anything else?
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, thanks.
Sorry, Jerry. We're trying.
I'll be there.
Tim Hamilton, Planning and Zoning Director.
Thank you.
We ended the year with 75 permits, in new single families in the unincorporated part of the county. You had asked Commissioner Kenny.
It's okay.
How we can measure growth with the new residential. It's in unincorporated Dickinson County, and I think it's this way also in the incorporated areas. One of the things you're going to have to keep in mind, what I'm running into is some people will build homes as an investment rather than actually being owner occupied. And so that kind of throws a wrench in the works too. So, because a lot of these people they may be living in town and it looks like, okay, they're shifting, but really what they're doing is they're investing, in another property. And so that kind of adds another layer to try to figure out the growth issue using residential. But other than that, I mean, there's other things I'm sure we can be in leasing.
I think the biggest thing,
merit to it.
it does. That's where I'm going. New construction is not just, selling your house, buying a new house. That's, to me, not growth. That's just changing homes. I'm saying where they built a new house.
Yeah.
How many new houses? Because either way, someone's going to live in that house whether they own it or not.
Yeah.
And that's growth.
Right.
And people coming here.
18 new single families last year in an incorporated area. So that's a lot.
That is.
That's quite a few. When I first started here, we only had my first year here in 2016. We only had something like 5. Right.
Well, this is something us three talked about briefly. Like, if this continues and we get these township roads with 30 houses on it, we have a whole nother maintenance thing to be talking about.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. But as far as goals, I'm going to continue training for 2026. I'm going to in fact, in April, I've been asked to give a presentation to the Kansas Association of County Planning and Zoning officials on renewable energy and how to handle the public hearing aspect of that. So I've been asked to give a little presentation on that in April. As far as this month's planning commission, they're going to be looking at, and this is going to be next Thursday, they're going to be looking at some language that were proposed that they've asked me to look into as far as putting together kind of an all-inclusive language for renewable energy and anything that's related to renewable energy, so like battery energy storage and all this other kind of thing. So try to kind of combine that into one regulation And I said, and at first I thought, well, that's going to be difficult to do, but then I began to think, I said, it's actually a pretty good idea. So what I've done is I've put together some options for them, and we'll be looking at that next week. So, but that's all I got for them.
Thank you. You have any questions, Joe? Thank you, Flynn.
Thank you.
I'm gonna say, we probably don't have enough time to get through Jerry's, but we can get his report. Do we need to have him come back next week, or, because we gotta get this deal done,
We
right?
need to have this completed, so it might be worth just having him go ahead and review
Yeah.
the inmate medical.
Sorry, I didn't schedule our time very well, Jerry. That's my fault.
That's okay. Got more good news. The undersheriff just pulled me out, got a letter from our prescription drug provider. They're going at 4% in costs this year.
Okay,
So that's more good news.
fun.
We put out the RFP on October 28th last year to seek additional hours for our medical staff and a medical provider, and to kind of take bids from people to see what we had. We only had two entities respond. That was Advanced Correctional, which is our current vendor, and then it's, Southern Health Partners also submitted in a response to our RFP. So we evaluated them, went through them. I'm going to cut this real short. The nurse availability, we want to go from 6 hours up to 20 hours. We have a lot of chronic care inmates, a lot of inmates that need more care. So we need to increase our hours. I think that's going to help reduce our liability in the jail. So we got two responses. ACH, Advanced Correctional Healthcare, with our current provider, gave us a bid for 20 hours per week, going up from 6 hours to 20 hours a week. Southern Health Partners didn't give us an option of going with 20 hours. They gave us an option of 30 hours. We don't think we need 30 hours, and this 20 hours is going to get us. So Advanced Correctional Healthcare was better for us there. As far as the hours, for 20 hours, it's going to cost us $131,404.57.
131, what was that?
It's $131,404.57.
Thank you, sir.
Our current contract is $54,232.84. So it's going to more than double. It's going to go up $77,171.73 per year. If you figure that out per average, as far as hours, the 6 hours to the 20 hours, we're going to be paying, I think, $23.46 less an hour for this new contract.
More care.
Yeah. We have a lot of inmates that we have to ship out to the hospital for different things. We're hoping with medical staff on board for 5 hours a day, 4 days a week, we're going to be able to decrease the medical visits to the emergency room and hopefully take care of a lot of that in-house. One of the big selling points for us was Advanced Correctional Healthcare has RN, APRN, which is a higher level of care. They can provide better services for us. So that's why we want to go with the ACH proposal. Also, we sent the proposal to our insurance carriers, the two proposals, to K-Camp, our insurance carrier. Hands down, they came back and said that they support the ACH proposal that we submitted. So, I just cover a meeting on it. Go ahead.
They don't cover anything. That's still all our obligation.
Right, it's
The
still our
medical side.
obligation. Right, yeah.
We did that for medical issue, or for the liability county.
Right.
Sure.
So that's what we want to do. We want to have that proposal. The Southern Health Partners proposal for 30 hours was actually about $8,000 more than the 20-hour proposal from ACH. But K-Camp has a lot of good things to say about ACH as far as their reputation and what they can do. So what I'm going to do is propose that we sign the contract with ACH for the $131,404.57 for the 20 hours for the year.
Okay.
One thing that doesn't include prescription drugs. It doesn't include any off-site visits. So if we have to take somebody to a dialysis treatment in Wichita, we have to pay the transportation. We have to pay the cost for that. We just have a lot of chronic care inmates, so we can't get past that.
So there's other places for dialysis than Wichita, though. How does that work?
I don't know how that works, to be honest with you. We just go where the doctors tell us that that's where the appointment's at.
What about the home care?
I don't know if they come in and do a dialysis. I don't,
Part of their function.
I guess someone needs to ask.
We don't have the dialysis patient with us anymore, which is.
Took care of that temporarily then.
Huge, yeah.
Okay.
That's it in a nutshell. I would do that really, really quick.
What's that amount again on that? It's the ACH, you say that
ACH contract was $131,404.57.
Currently, funds sits at around.
Now, we're supposed to meet with a representative from ACH today. They do a quarterly quality control assessment with us. And we want to discuss with them about switching our pharmacy provider. There's another pharmacy provider that will provide meds, but they give them to you the day before prepackaged for the day for per each inmate. So we get the inmates meds on Thursday for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then that way we don't have an inmate bond out and we still have 28 days of medication left behind. We have to resubmit to the pharmacy. They reimburse us, but it's at a much reduced rate. So this way that hopefully that'll decrease that if we can switch our pharmaceutical too. It's not cheap and it's not fun.
At the end of the day, it comes down to a liability issue with the amount of healthcare that we have currently in jail. We need to increase.
6 hours just doesn't do it.
It's not doing it. Commissioners?
Full of good news, I apologize.
It is what it is. I mean,
Can't help it. You need it.
mandated service. We gotta provide healthcare in the jail, so.
If you guys have any questions, just hit me up. Yes, sir. Get a question.
I was gonna ask them, can we pre-screen them, you know, if you got a long-term illness, maybe the crime wasn't that bad. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
That's something you have to propose to the county attorney, and I gotta tell you, you're probably not gonna.
I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere on that one.
I would bet our county counselor wouldn't advise for that.
Yeah, I gotta get.
this was probably before your time, but I always said a little bit humored and not. I think it's one of Jerry's stories that one of the inmates had complained that the TV was a little bit bigger and larger and clearer up in Clay County than it was in our jail.
All right.
And they said, you know, you should have thought about that, done your crime a half mile further north.
Or if we get there in time, maybe we can move it just a little bit. That doesn't happen often.
Like the way you think.
I'm going.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Gary. Thank you all. I believe, we're not gonna have the council, your first meeting, I'm gonna have you report everything, all right? I don't think you do. We'll do that later. Our thought there is if you have a report, you don't, we talked about this, you don't need to come in all the time. If you feel like it's not that big, you can give it to Janelle, we'll read it for you, whatever works. But we do a monthly, and she'll schedule it. Just a little update on what you're working on.
Good point.
Yes, sir. Great to have you on here. Take a little break and resume our meeting at 11 a.m. Thank you all.
Thank you. That's okay.
Healthcare today.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. Because our contract ends or starts over in February.
What is that? We don't have markets here. What is that? We never really talked what it does to our budgets.
So that little spreadsheet, this one I gave you, is what we budgeted. So we'll have to make up the difference in the general fund. But if you look here, we actually budgeted 70, I believe we budgeted 70 also this year. We had some outright claims. So it's just,
In reality.
it's just a risk.
Because this was this year or last year.
Yeah.
Are we going down or do we still have this cost?
We're still gonna have this cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the one being affected, right?
This is the one that, yes.
So this will be, okay, so it'll be, okay.
So we're gonna have to make up the difference about 60,000.
From the budget, but not based off last spending.
Right. How are you?
Yeah, in other words,
Good to see you.
thank you very much.
I hear you made the, was it Cowboy Hall of Fame? What, yeah, cool.
Thank you very much.
It's right.
You know, it don't take much. All I gotta do is get a hat, wear some boots and whistle Dixie.
You must look really good in that. We have one in North Dakota where it used to be part of the Cowboy Hall of Fame. And we're at- So what's the difference between that? Is it just each state can have their own Cowboy Hall of Fame?
Each state has their own national one.
We're gonna just have to
So it's not something that we start.
throw it and see what we want to end up.
It's where-
Congratulations. Yeah, good to see you. Really love the way you guys operate. This is nice.
Yeah, I mean, we're here to fix things and help.
To me,
I love
And
it.
everybody can say no.
changed, I mean, I don't know how you do it.
I love it. I love it.
Well, thank you.
My place. Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
How you doing?
Good. Am I stay for the rest of this or? Want to? Okay, sure.
It's actually a full meeting.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll just hang out. I don't have another appointment till 2, so.
No, I think, I was telling you this before, I think planning and zoning meetings
I know.
at night, I know you live hard.
But I can stay and then go home after.
Online, we're gonna get it set where you can do it online.
Okay, that would be good too. Yeah.
Those
So
are-
how do I get on the mailing list to get those agendas? 'Cause I'm not knowing when they are. Can you send it to the director at dkabc.com?
Oh, it is, sorry. We gotta start.
We'll get you on there.
We're already ahead of you on schedule. I call this meeting to order. Would all rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thanks, Lauren. I missed it. Moving on to the approval of the agenda, we have quite an agenda today. We got human trafficking and stalking awareness proclamations, 250th celebration of the United States proclamation. We have resolution 010826, annual reorganization, resolution 010826A, gap waiver for 2026, resolution 010826B, reappoint Wally Wolf to the PBZ. Consider contract on law enforcement services for the city of Solomon. Consider incident defense contract. Consider inmate medical services proposals that we heard in the study session this morning. And we will break for a 30-minute executive session for the annual evaluation of the county administrator. Do I have an approval of the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Consent agenda, the minutes are provided in your packet from the December 18th meeting. Expenditures from prior year, $147,751.36. SD Security prior year, $3,192. New Synergy from prior year, $174.55. Expenditures, I believe this will be on this year, $374,489.57. Paying checks of $342. Health insurance of $174.55, indigent defense of $11,600, abated tax of $2,285.30, and an added tax of $24. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Commissioner comments and committee reports. Who wants to
Okay,
start?
I'll start.
Go
I
ahead.
just want to be thankful for the rain we're getting. I think it beats the snow out there, pushing that snow and things that go on. So again, very thankful we got some moisture coming in.
Thank you, Ron.
Yeah.
Lynn?
Just looking forward to a new year, and I think we have a lot of challenges, and we had our state senator here, and so we've got lots of work to do on our part, but the whole state of Kansas has and beyond, so it's another year.
Thank you, Lynn. I'm going to ditto both of you guys. First of all, I want to say thank you for my first year. I don't think I've done that yet. I felt welcomed. I feel like I'm on a team. I feel like we are a team, and I just wanted to kind of blanket say thank you for this. I don't know how to say that. Thank you. And yeah, here's the 2026. Go ahead and move on to the proclamations. We have a Human Trafficking and Stalking Awareness Month proclamation presented by DPAC. Good morning.
Good morning. And I am Carly Tinkler. I'm the campus sexual assault advocate. I spend most of my school year on both campuses in Salina and State Salina. And I'll get started with the human trafficking awareness proclamation. Whereas human trafficking is a pervasive and devastating crime that affects individuals, families, and communities across the United States. And whereas in the most recently completed year of statistics in 2024, an estimated 17,000 potential victims of human trafficking were identified nationwide, representing only a fraction or a small fraction of those who actually suffer in silence. Whereas human trafficking takes many forms, with employers accounting for 43% of traffickers, labor trafficking, family members representing 26%, and intimate partners representing 22%. That can be sex trafficking or labor trafficking on those, demonstrating the complex relationships and power dynamics that often trap victims in cycles of exploitation. Whereas the Domestic Violence Association of Central Kansas, DVAC, provided direct service to 6 human trafficking survivors in 2024. 5 of those individuals were from Saline County, 1 was from Sedgwick County. Those 5 survivors were residents of Salina, 1 from Wichita, reflecting that human trafficking impacts both rural and urban communities in our region. And whereas DVAC remains committed to offering crisis intervention, advocacy, safety planning, housing support, and trauma-informed services to survivors of human trafficking, while also partnering with local, state, and national organizations to raise awareness and strengthen community response. And whereas all community members play a vital role in preventing trafficking, supporting survivors, and creating a safer environment where exploitation is no longer tolerated. Therefore, we are asking the Dickinson County Commission to recognize January 2026 as Human Trafficking Awareness Month and encourage residents, service providers, and community partners to increase awareness, support service, and join us in taking action to end human trafficking in all forms.
Thank you. As presented, do I hear a motion to accept the proclamation for making January 2026 Human Trafficking Awareness Month?
So moved.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any discussion? Thank you. I'll give you a side copy here.
I'm going to throw out, if you would like to, Wear Blue Day is actually coming up on the 11th, so this Sunday.
Okay.
And that is just a way to kind of show your support for survivors and within your communities so we will all be wearing blue. I think we're supposed to wear blue tomorrow, but just because it falls on a Sunday. But yeah, that is definitely something that is small, easy to do.
Okay. Absolutely. So is the blue ribbon kind of the I know everyone kind of gets a ribbon or whatnot, but
Yeah,
okay.
that is very much, the blue is for human trafficking and then yellow will be stalking. Although oddly enough, they have not done a yellow day. They did Sparkle Day, which is a little more difficult actually. And it follows up on the 18th, so the next Sunday. And it's just an opportunity. The reason it was Sparkle Day is Stalking Awareness Month came out of a horrifying stalking story in which Peggy Klink was followed, killed, and her sister, Debbie Riddle, actually was the one who really was trying to bring awareness to this issue and things of that nature. And so she always said her sister sparkled, so that's where that came from.
Okay. Well, we passed it, so we'll go ahead and sign and give you a signed copy. Do you want to go ahead and jump into your stalking?
We'll do it. Whereas stalking is also a serious and often hidden crime that affects an estimated 13.5 million people in the United States each year. And whereas stalking is commonly perpetrated by someone the victim knows, with 42% of those individuals being stalked by an acquaintance and 40% by a current or former intimate partner. And whereas stalking behaviors frequently involve both digital and physical methods, with 80% of victims stalked using technology and 67% stalked in person. And whereas in 2024, the Domestic Violence Association of Central Kansas, DVAC, served 40 stalking victims including survivors from Cloud, Dickinson, Saline, and McPherson counties, as well as out-of-state plans. Whereas these victims resided across the region, including Concordia, Harrington, Abilene, Salina, New Cambria, and Malbridge, illustrating that stalking impacts both rural and urban communities. Whereas DVAC remains dedicated to provide safety planning, advocacy, and trauma-informed services while working with our community partners to raise awareness and prevent stalking in all forms. Now, therefore, we are asking if you will recognize January 2026 as Stalking Awareness Month and encourage all residents to learn the signs of stalking, support survivors, and work together to create a safer community.
Thank you. As such, do I have a motion to approve making January 26th a Stalking Awareness Month in conjunction with the Human Trafficking Month? Sorry, I was kidnapping was in my brain. I'm like, it's not kidnapping. That's not what's
It's a lot. It's, yeah. It's a big month. It's kind of a hard spring for us. We've got lots of awareness coming, so.
Yeah, well, it's serious too, though.
Yes, it is.
Do I hear a motion to?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. We'll get you a sign.
We'll get you, here's choose from.
Okay. Sounds great.
We'll get you another one too. I'd love to hear from you. I don't know, halfway through the year, how things are going, if you're interested.
Yeah,
We'd love to
definitely.
hear back from you.
Well, and even we do provide presentations. So if there's a topic that's very interesting that you'd like to bring to your church, any kind of group, we have talked to very little people about, your body is yours and some of that consent piece. To, I presented to the Lions Club here quite a long time ago. So those are always options. Any of us are happy to assist, and we have so many topics.
Okay.
Did you want a picture for your website or anything like that of us handing the proclamation to you, or?
Yeah, they'll put it on our social media.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that right now.
Yeah.
Hey, come on up. We'll do a picture.
I'm going to, if you would.
Thank you, Natalie.
What do you guys? Up to you. You want to sit?
It doesn't make a difference, Kenny.
Don't make any difference to me.
Do whatever works.
Which I still have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Took a couple of my daughters today. Someone blinks. Thank you.
That's an unpaid position, by the way, being photographer. It's not in our budget.
I was hoping for a little pretty on our side.
You, do you want to? No.
Okay.
All right. Proclamation for celebrating the 250th anniversary of the United States. Whereas on July 4th, 1776, the Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence, proclaiming that all endowed and inalienable rights are establishing the founding ideals of the United States. And on July 4th, 2026, our nation marks the 250th anniversary of this historic act. You guys want me to read through all this?
It's hardly.
Here's a summary of it.
Listen, what we want to do is show that we want to celebrate our 250th anniversary of being a country. We're going to try to, I wanted to talk with the commission about this and maybe putting some extra stuff in the parade, just maybe a banner or two. I just want to show a little pride that we should be proud that we made it a quarter of 1,000 years of a century. We should celebrate that. So that's really what this is about. And we want to proclaim that and try to celebrate that a little bit with the community. If you'd like, I can read it. It's very long. It's about our history. I'm not going to read it. I'm going to put it up. Yeah.
Well, I just think that last portion where it just says, whereas America's 250s, America Gives initiative encourages individuals, businesses, nonprofits, and governments to make 2026 the largest year of service in our history, strengthening our communities through volunteerism. And so I think, as you mentioned, maybe we can do some additional steps to be part of that promotion and reminder of that. But I think there's going to be a lot going on in our communities.
I agree.
But we certainly want to be part of that. So. So I move we adopt that resolution celebrating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America.
Second that motion. Any more discussion? I second that. Sneaking.
Gotta be quick. Will.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right.
I'm really happy about this. 4th of July is my favorite holiday. I don't know if anybody knows that. Like, it is my favorite. I used to deck myself out, and so I'm really excited about
Let me
it.
look at the calendar when we're meeting in July so we can do that again, right?
Yeah, 4th of July, I'm telling you, I'll wear a full American flag suit. Yes, I am into it. It is my favorite holiday of all of them. So, okay. Moving on to public comments. If the county administrator, Janelle Docknall, read the rules real quick.
For the Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4317 and 75-4318A, as the elected board, the county commission is not allowed to meet or make any decisions without posting the meeting. They are only allowed to act on items on the agenda which they set. During their regular meeting, the county commission may allow for public comments on items not listed on the approved agenda. It is at the discretion of the county commission if they allow comments on agenda items. If you wish to provide comments, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address. If you are online, raise your hand and we will unmute you. Please state your name and address. Each person may speak for 3 minutes. The allotted time will start after the speaker has given his or her name and address. Public comment shall be addressed to the county commission only and not to the speaker or the audience. Only the county commission will be permitted to ask the speaker questions. The public comment period is not a back and forth discussion with the county commission. You should make your views and input known to them, but it is not a time to ask them questions. You should not expect them to respond to your comments. Comments may express support or agreement with the previous speakers, but in the interest of time, please do not repeat the same information. You may state something to the effect of your name and address and you agree with the previous speaker. It is important to maintain a respectful, non-threatening atmosphere for anyone who would like to speak. Please do not engage in such actions as cheering, booing, clapping, insults, threats, etc.
Thank you. Give a brief moment for any comments in the crowd or online. I say crowd, there's about 4 people in front of you.
Big crowd.
Yeah, big crowd.
Doubled the usual.
Seeing no comments, we'll go ahead and move on to reports from county officers. We'll go ahead and kick it off. County Administrator Janelle Docknall.
Commissioners, we had some unfortunate news to start the week off. We had at least 15 county road signs, stop signs, directional signs, name signs that were damaged and either cut off or run over or just completely removed. They were located in Geary County, so that's going to be a cost to us to come back in and replace them. Estimated about $150 a sign by the time, especially if we have to purchase a new sign to replace it. So it's a little disappointing. So, but we have recovered some of them, so that helps. So the Public Works Department is replacing a structure at 1875 Flag Road. So the road is closed. It'll be closed for a little bit longer on that. And as Martin had reported in the study session, Reese Construction is starting on the work at the 500 Avenue and Rain Road Bridge. And that will be minimum 120 days. I'm sorry, maximum 120 days for that replacement. So, and still no word. I know Kay is very interested. Still no word on 1100 Avenue Bridge from KDOT. So, wish I had better news on that. Unfortunately, I don't. Emergency manager was in Saline County and evaluating an active shooter training over there as part of our regional workshops that we hold. The appraiser's office is working on final review. And unfortunately, we're still waiting on ag values from the state, so that delays our work that we can do. John reported in the study session that community paramedicine program or MIH program is off to a good start. We have 7 patients that we're seeing, so that's encouraging. And we're working on our annual county inventory that's by statute. So we'll be working on that and bring that to you probably next month. So do you have any questions for me?
I do not. Thank you, Janelle. County Councilor, I know we've made announcements. I'm going to make the announcement. We have hired a new County Councilor, Aaron Martin, with Doug Thompson's retirement. So just formally introducing you. I know we've said this, but now you're in person. So.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Happy to be here. First meeting. I do not really have anything to present to you. So I would take this opportunity just again to thank you for the opportunity. I've, over the last month, worked with many, not all, of the, department managers and elected officials on various items. I won't speak to any of this publicly, but I think it's going well. As always, you and any of the department managers and elected officials are welcome to contact me or make suggestions as to how we can work together better. But from my perspective, it's going well with approximately 1 month under our belt. So I would take this opportunity to answer any questions you have. If you have any guidance for what you would like to hear from me, I think at the last meeting I attended, the plan was coming at least once a month, if possible, coming to this particular meeting, the second Thursday of every month, to hear the study session component of it. And going forward, certainly report to you to the extent I can the items we're working on or any other questions you may have.
I think that'll work beautifully. No regrets yet, right?
Good, because I've given them a lot of things.
Yeah, I was gonna say. We're good.
So thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here.
Likewise, thank you.
We'll move to notices and communications. County Clerk Jennifer Gayton, do we have any today?
I did post another KDHE notice that we received in December when we didn't have any meetings. I wanted to get it on there because it was only 30 days to make a comment. So they're more than welcome to go to the county clerk's website and review that if they have any comments to send to the state.
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yep.
Let's start working through this, commissioners. We'll start with resolution 010826 for the annual reorganization. Before I move to the nominations, I believe we'll start with chair, I just wanted to give some brief few words. First, I wanted to thank you, commissioners, for allowing me to chair in my first year. I felt like we've accomplished some big goals. I think we've got a lot of other tasks and projects that are, in my mind, midstream. We're not done. We still have a lot of work to do. And I just want to say thank you for the privilege of serving you guys as your chair. I really appreciate it. I said it earlier, I feel very welcomed here. I never felt any animosity, and how blessed are we? Because I went to KAC, and not every county gets along as much as we do, and I can't express how much gratitude I have for that fact. So thank you. With that being said, I would like to put it out there that I would like to retain the chair position for another year. Like to see some of these stuff that I just mentioned kind of get over the finish line and keep driving it a little bit. If you guys are open to that. If you're not, I'm open to anything. I'm not going to be any sort of way. So I just thought I'd start it with that and kind of go from there.
Since that is a separate item, I will go ahead and make the motion to renominate you to continue as our chairman for 2026.
I'll second that.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate that. I really do. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to the nomination process for vice chairman. Would you, Ron or Lynn?
I'd like to make a motion for vice chair again, carry on for the year.
I'll second that motion. Motion has been made to make Lynn this vice chair for 2026. It's been seconded.
Should there be discussion?
Well, it's just about to go there.
No,
I try to ask for discussion because you're supposed to. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, guys. I really look forward to this year. I'm really excited. I think we got a lot of big stuff coming. So resolution 010826 will cover all the following in one action. We'll appoint County Health Officer John Holtgren, set official hours for the courthouse operations from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily for 2026 with holiday closures as set forth by Dickinson County Employee Handbook. They'll also be posted online. Set the official recording hours for Register of Deeds office, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Set official work session and meeting days and times for commission. Currently Thursdays with work session at 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. with regular meetings starting at 11 a.m. until conclusion. Designate the official county newspaper for 2026, Abilene Reflector Chronicle. Appoint representative to the Central Kansas Mental Health Center Board for 2026, currently Commissioner Peterson. Appoint representative for the North Central Kansas Juvenile Detention Board for 2026, currently Commissioner Roller. Appoint representative to the North Central Regional Planning Commission Board for 2026, Commissioner Rollifson. Appoint representative to serve as a member of the Eco Devo Board of Directors, I guess that'd currently be me as well. Designate the official depositories for the county for 2026, and they are as such: UMB Bank, Abilene Branch of Astor Bank, Solomon State Bank, Solomon and Abilene Branch, Pinnacle Bank of Abilene, Dickinson County Bank of Enterprise, Central National Bank of Harrington, Citizens State Bank of Woodbine, First National Bank of Hope Branch, and Harrington Branch, First Bank of Kansas, Abilene Branch, and Bennington State Bank, Abilene Branch. We'll also adopt the official fee schedule for 2026 to publish on the county website. Adopt 2026 payroll calendar as submitted by the HR director we heard from this morning, and designate Chad McCullough,
County engineer.
PE, I'm not, okay, engineer, got it, as county engineer. Additional resolutions will be considered resolution regarding GAP, which is General Accepted Accounting Practices Waiver, which is all pretty standard. With that being said, as such, do I have a motion to approve resolution 010826 as read?
I'll make that motion.
And was the resolution what? 10826?
I didn't even put a 01, but is it just 108?
That's 10826.
Okay, 10826, my
A
apologies.
little clarification.
Yeah, that's how we have it listed.
Yes, I'd second that if that.
Yes. Yeah, we'll amend the motion to be for 10826. I think it's.
Yeah.
You seconded?
Yes.
Any discussion?
I do have no discussion. The employee handbook, is this the handbook we're going to use, the 18 edition or not?
Yeah.
Revised in 18.
So we have, right, so we do have several revisions that have come. In fact, you had some revisions from last year.
Okay, so it's upgraded. We're on problem.
Yes, yeah,
Okay, yeah.
So it is up to date
yes,
currently, okay.
yes,
And employees?
yes, they have access to it through the website,
Okay.
or hard copy if need be.
Okay, good, thank you.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate your trust. Resolution 010826. Well, did we kind of just do that or no?
No, this is the gap waiver, this is separate.
Resolution 01.
Nope.
So you got 0 on here.
It should be 0108.
01. It says 1, it's 1.
We can put a 0 in there.
Where's that one at?
Okay, yeah, on the actual.
Yeah, it's just 108.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it 01. Is that all right, guys?
Yep.
Resolution 010826A is a gap waiver for 2026. Whereas Dickinson County, Kansas has determined that the financial statements and financial reports for the year that will end December 31st, 2026 to be prepared, is this the right one?
Yes. Yeah.
To be prepared in conformity with the requirements of KSA 75-1120A, subsection A, are not relevant. Oh, that's a separate statement. Are not relevant to the requirements of the cash basis and budget laws of this state and are of no significant value to county commissioners or the members of the general public of Dickinson County. Whereas there are no revenue bond ordinances or other ordinances or resolutions of municipality which require financial statements and financial reports to be prepared in conformity with KSA 75-1120A, subsection A, as they apply to Dickinson County for year ending December 31st, 2026. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Dickinson County, Kansas, in their regular meeting duly assembled the 8th of January, 2026, that the County Commissioners request the Director of Accounts and Reports to waive the requirements for KSA 75-1120A, subsection A, and they apply to Dickinson County for the year ending December 31st, 2026. That was a mouthful. Do we have a motion to approve resolution 010826A for the gap waiver?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
If I could just make a comment, we do have a procedure that we're required to follow, and that's KMAG, which is the Kansas Municipal and Accounting Guide. So just to reassure everyone, we still have a process by statute that we have to follow. So in case there's any question about that.
Thank you. Motion has been carried. 010826A is accepted. Resolution 010826B, reappoint Robin Holt to the planning board, the PBZ board.
You want This one here.
I got it.
Do that.
A resolution establishing the appointment of board members to Dickinson, as set forth in KSA 12-744, the creation of and the membership of Dickinson County Planning Commission shall be appointment from the Dickinson County Commission, further addressed in resolution P5-21-82-1, wow, which states the Board of County Commissioners may by resolution establish a planning board for such county, which board shall consist of not less than 5 or more and no more than 11 members who shall be residents of such county, a majority of whom live outside the corporate limits of any incorporated city in said county. Therefore, Wally Wolf, do I need to say his address? Okay. Wally Wolf is hereby appointed Dickinson County Planning Commission for the term of 3 years, for a term beginning in the date and passing the resolution, ending in the month of January 2029. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 010826B, appointing Wally Wolf to the PBZ?
So moved.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. If you would inform Wally. Next is the consider contract for law enforcement services in the city of Solomon. I'm not going to read all this. This is a pretty long document. I'm going to let the county administrator talk on this. Actually, she probably knows more about this than I do.
So commissioners, as you know, over the, probably 30 years, we have provided law enforcement services in the city of Solomon. This is a contract that the sheriff has drafted that they have agreed to, and it is for a total amount of $117,571.04 per year. Is to provide law enforcement services 174 man hours in the city of Solomon. As the need arises, they will also provide additional services if the need arises, like I said. And then they have some guidelines in it that they will be present in the area of Solomon schools on school days and high school events unless they're otherwise assigned. So this is a contract that has worked very well, or a process that has worked very well with City of Solomon for so many years, and we just ask that you approve it for this next year as well.
Absolutely.
The city of Solomon has reviewed it and also is an agreement because it's kind of a mutual agreement that they reach.
Yeah, we got signatures from Brandy Gray and Andrea Cook.
And I'm sure their city attorney has reviewed it as well.
Might be the same guy.
So I would go ahead and make the motion that we enter this contract for law enforcement services between our sheriff's department and the city of Solomon.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Little people are curious. The sheriff sits on their board as the acting police chief. So when they have a council meeting, he's there. It's not like we're just providing services and not taking any feedback. I just thought we should mention that. There's a little more involved than just patrolling the streets. So, okay. Consider indigent defense contract. You want to kind of summarize this a little bit? This is also a pretty long one.
So commissioners, as you know, we have indigent defense attorneys, and you had signed the contracts at the end of last year. And we had a need has arisen where we need to contract with another attorney to provide services. One of the attorneys that you have a contract with is going to be unavailable for a length of time. So Joel Enzi has agreed to take on those responsibilities for us. And this is just the contract that we have come to an agreement with him to provide indigent defense services. Primarily, he's going to be handling juvenile cases, but any other indigent defense cases that do come forward. So
yearly expense of around $69,600.
Yes. Yep.
It's a contract for $5,800 a month. Right?
$5,800.
Right.
So I'll go ahead and make the motion that we do accept and enter this agreement for indigent defense on the contract that's been given to us.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. This morning we heard from Sheriff Jerry Davis on the inmate medical services proposals. It sounded that they are recommending, staff is recommending that we accept the ACH proposal for 20 hours a week. I believe that amount was at $131,404.57, which is we budgeted 70 for, next 26. So it's definitely a big increase, about 54,000. As we heard from Jerry, we have a liability in the jail if we don't provide medical services on the right time. And unfortunately, it's something we're going to have to do. I don't think we have a choice. Unfortunately. I'll open it up to the floor if you guys got any comments or discussion on it.
I'm good. I understand.
Okay. Do we have a motion
From a
to?
budget standpoint, how is that handled?
So we budgeted 90,000 to handle inmate medical services and prescriptions, things like that. This will just be for the inmate medical services, and the rest will just come out of the general fund, which is where it's budgeted at in our cash reserves, is where it will be. But I can tell you in 2025, because of the type of call or type of medical issues that we had for some of our inmates in the jail, we had already exceeded that. We were at 154, almost 155,000. So
56.
yeah, 156,000. So
Technically, if medical supplies don't go up,
right,
we are actually under budget from last year, but we're out of budget because the budget we passed.
right. But if you look at the history, the reason that we budgeted the 90,000 is because the past 7-8 years, we have been under budget for that. So, but we're also only receiving 6 hours of care in the jail, and this is increasing to 20 hours of care a week in the jail, which the sheriff and jail administrator feel very strongly that that is a necessity.
I think it's important to note, in the last 3 years, this has almost tripled.
Yes.
The original cost. It was 50,000 in 23, 131,000 in 26. I want the public to understand that, our costs are going up just with years too.
And we have unexpected things or unpredictable sometimes like this.
Well, and in fact, he came in, I don't know if you caught that, because I just got a call from the pharmacy and our cost is going to go up 4%.
Right, for pharmaceuticals.
So another great news to hear.
And statutorily, this is a requirement that we have to provide.
With that being said, we had a motion. Did you motion? No motion.
I would.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'll make that motion to enter that agreement.
And I'll second it.
That was quick.
Sorry.
Any more discussion? No. You're good. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, guys. I need my cheat sheet for this next one. This one. Okay. I move that we recess to executive session under the following exemptions, personal exception, or no, that's not it. Sorry, hold on, read down here. Contract, employee
For not.
employer-employee negotiation contract.
Non-elected personnel.
Non-elected personnel.
Annual evaluation.
This one
That's
doesn't
it.
read that way.
No, it doesn't. No.
It doesn't read that way, guys. You've heard the subject and you know the reason. I'd like to break for that at, what do you think, 11:40 for a period of 30 minutes. We'll resume session at 12:10.
And who would you like to have in the?
We will have County Administrator Janelle Dockendorf and the Board of County Commissioners. Unless you think you need more in there.
Do you want the attorney in on this?
Aaron on it?
Yeah, you do. Okay. We'll have Aaron Martin, County Councilor, on the meeting as well. So all members will be Aaron Martin, County Councilor, Janelle Dockendorf, County Administrator, and the Board of County Commissioners. We'll break at 11:40, resume session at 12:10. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We will break at 11:40. that is the end of our agenda today. So unless you want to stick around for us to close, I wouldn't.
We will reconvene though. And
Yeah.
Probably have some sort of motion.
Thank you.
I love this. I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, she was at my open house.
Yeah.
Gave her remarks and
Gosh, otherwise.
she, when you had the open house for her, I attended that also.
I didn't get to leave. You were there.
Yeah, there were a lot of people.
Yes.
I've been there, but I didn't want you to run out of anything, you know.
We were in on a conversation.
There you go.
It's hot. It's hot. Or is it me? It's me. Too much caffeine. Well, I probably drank about 8 cups of coffee so far, so.
Just 8?
Yeah, probably.
So let me get
So do you meet it here or do you go to
meeting.
right in here?
Yeah,
Okay,
we just turn everything off and.
I see. Just come up to the front row then.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Lynn. We should be blessed. It's not the case for everyone.
Oh, my.
And I think our administrator has a lot to do with that fact. With that being said, motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded. We are adjourned. Thank you all for attending today.
All right.
What do we got?
Okay, get this stopped.